Alrighty guys, what is going on? My name is Garen Belmont. How y'all doing today? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Season 3 reveal, pretty much everything that was talked about in the reveal at PAX East, and I'm also going to be giving you guys my thoughts and opinions. Now, if you guys didn't see my live stream, I did do kind of a live reaction to it. I apologize for the volume in the live stream. I woke up like 5 minutes-ish away from the reveal starting, so I didn't have enough time to kind of make sure my settings were still up to date. So I apologize for that. Next time I stream, I will make sure I stream before, that way I can kind of fix any kinks or what have you. Either way, let's talk about all the content that was announced during Season 3 reveal. So first of all, these are in no particular order. These are just in the order that I wrote them down in my notes. But the first thing we're going to be talking about is the new Descendant. So the new Descendant is actually going to be Nell, who has been a pretty influential part of the story, especially the Sigma Sector storyline, where she was actually the head of the operation for Sigma Sector. So now she's actually going to be a Descendant, and I believe it was the director who had mentioned that in terms of lore, RK users can actually develop later on, or at least normal humans can actually develop RK abilities later on. We saw this with Descendants like Glay, and I think they actually, if I remember correctly, this was actually a big story part in the in Sigma Sector, where Glay, it took her like certain conditioning to actually get her RK powers, and then you have Descendants like Sharon, where she was pretty much near death when she actually got her RK abilities. So there are a lot of characters that we want to see actually become Descendants. I know Captain Harris, for me personally, is one of them. I believe his name is number 17. A lot of people also want to see him as a Descendant, so there's definitely a lot of characters in the game that people want to see become Descendants, so hopefully we actually get to play these characters. I would actually really like to see some of these characters become Descendants. Now, another thing we're going to talk about is the fact that Nell and Enzo apparently have a little bit of a romance going on, and that's going to be an influential part of the story going into Season 3 Breakthrough. Next up, let's talk about Ultimate Descendants. So, the Ultimate Descendant, or at least our next one, is going to be Ultimate Luna. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't expect this. I don't know how. I think for me, I was thinking that the developers were going to do the original Descendants that we launched with. So Jaber get his ultimate first, or Enzo get his ultimate first, Kyle, what have you. I thought these Descendants were going to get their ultimates first, but it seems that Luna, who actually came out in an update after the launch of the game, is going to be getting her ultimate next, and the developers did say that Yujin is going to be the ultimate after that, and that's going to be coming with Season 3, Episode 2. Next up, the developers also showed off the hover bike. This is going to be our main transportation when we're going into Axion. Axion, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Axion. If I remember, is it Axiom or Axion? I think it's Axion. Okay. Either way, it's going to be our main mode of transportation when we go into the new zone. This is the biggest zone that we've had by far, according to the developers, so we are going to need a form of transportation, and I would imagine with the hover bike, we're also going to be getting things like customization options, so we might get different styles of hover bikes, we might get decals, be able to paint them, what have you. I don't think the developers would pass up that opportunity, especially since how well loved the motorcycle was in Warframe 1999. Next up, we're also going to be getting a new Vulgus faction. This is going to be Legion of Breach. Now, the enemies were a very good variety. Like, you saw some enemies that kind of had a more robotic, futuristic, sci-fi kind of look to them. And then you also saw enemies that looked very creature-esque, very almost demonic in a way, kind of very similar to I don't know, some of the insect enemies in what is it, Helldivers 2, so or Starship Troopers. So I thought the enemies looked really cool, so we're going to be getting a new faction. I don't know what their elemental weakness is going to be. They didn't really go too deep into it because the developers were under a time constraint of, I believe, 1 hour, so they didn't really go too deep into that. Next up is going to be the 8-man Colossus raid, which is going to be the open field raid. So that means we are actually, with Axion, we are finally getting Colossus raids out in the open world. And the new Colossus is going to be Wall Crasher. Now, based off of the final cutscene that we had in Sigma Sector storyline, I'm guessing this is a Vulgus-made Colossus. I could be wrong about that. I don't think the developers talked about that, but based off of the way Wall Crasher looks, it looks to be like a Vulgus-made. It looks to match the silhouette that we saw in the Sigma Sector storyline. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to work. You know, if the game is going to be able to handle having like 8 players all doing damage with effects going on and stuff like that. I'm wondering how that's going to work, and I'm really interested. Next up is going to be the lounge. This is going to be the open world, or sorry, not open world. This is going to be like your kind of like your housing area, very similar to the ship in Warframe. So with the player housing, you will be able to customize it. So I would imagine you can customize the color. There's also going to be different features, like there's going to be a shower, which is going to make a lot of the Gooners happy. And you're also going to be able to talk to your favorite Descendants within the lounge area. So I'm guessing you're only going to be able to have like one favorite Descendant in there, and then the developers did say that it's actually going to be a first-person point of view, and when you go to your lounge, the characters are going to look you straight in the eye. Man, you know, the thought of Sharon, or Ultimate Sharon, looking me dead in the eye while she calls me master, that gets a little some tickling, you know what I mean? Either way, let's move on to the next thing. So another thing that was kind of, I don't want to say subtle, but it was very short, it was very brief, but the developers talked about a new type of mod that's actually going to be coming into the game, which is going to be trigger mods. Now, based off of the way they described it, this sounds like kind of crazy. So basically the way trigger mods work is, it's almost like Exilus mod slots on Warframes, where you can put an extra mod, but the difference is that these mods will actually change your abilities, and when you meet a certain requirement or a threshold or a certain number of do X thing, Y thing will happen, these will actually trigger something, which comes with the name trigger mods. And I thought this was pretty interesting because the example that I believe the producer had given was that if you get like projectile kills, or if you get projectile hits or something like that, eventually you will spawn like a meteor shower. And I thought that was kind of crazy, which is, it really is going to add a lot to build crafting in the first Descendant, and these trigger mods are going to be universal, which means you can use them on any different Descendant. So they're not going to be Descendant specific. You can use them on any individual Descendant, which is pretty cool. I thought this was honestly pretty crazy. So yeah. But next up, let's talk about the new weapon type. So the new weapon type we're going to be getting is the sword. Now, the sword is going to come in 3 different flavors. So the first one was almost like a katana style weapon. Excuse me. The first one they showed off was a katana type weapon, and I would imagine this one is going to have a little bit more like animations, a little bit more flair, and it's going to be very fast and quick. The second one they showed off was like a claymore. So it's going to be very heavy, it's going to do a lot of damage, but the swings are going to be slow. And then there was the third one, which was as they said, light blade, because we can't say light you know what, because, you know, a certain company would be after our asses. So, yeah, honestly, I was hoping for bows personally, as I'm a huge fan of archery, so I was really hoping for a bow weapon type. So typically when I play a lot of games, I really hope for, like, you know, the game either has a bow weapon type or gets one in the future. But I'm actually completely okay with this. I think the way they made them sound pretty cool, and hopefully we get some gameplay footage in the next dev live stream, and we can really see, you know, how these play. So, the one of the last things is going to be the Nier Automata collab. So this was, I was honestly expecting like a first party like Nexon title like Dungeon Fighter to get a collab before Nier Automata, but I guess considering that a lot of games have a Nier Automata collab, this isn't too surprising. So they showed off the 2B outfit as well as the A2, I believe. I messed this up during the live stream as well, and someone actually corrected me. I think it was A2. So we're going to be getting two outfits that are going to be universal for the female Descendants. I would imagine maybe we'll get some other things, maybe just like some, I don't know, some stickers or something like that, maybe like an emote or something. But the ones that they showed off were the actual skins themselves, and they are going to be universal, which means you can put them on any of the female Descendants. No male Descendants, unfortunately. Hopefully, male Descendants can get something, because they've been kind of, I think the last thing that they got was what, the corn skin. So yeah, hopefully they'll get something in the future. Maybe we'll get another collab with another title, and we could see a male universal skin. But yeah, and I think one of the developers had said that there's also like going to be a battle damaged version of the 2B outfit. So that's pretty cool. Maybe it's going to be a similar situation to the Nun outfit, where we have like one version that has the flaps on the back and then one version that doesn't. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. And so last but certainly not least, we have the first anniversary. So with this, they talked about there's going to be in-game events. They didn't talk about like rewards or specifying like rewards or anything like that. So they just said there's going to be in-game events. They also said there was going to be TFD Fest for players who've been, playing the game for all this time. Again, they didn't really elaborate too much, so I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's going to be like a live stream. I don't know if it's going to be like a series of like different rewards, very similar to the browser-based events that we've gotten in the past. Can't really tell you. And then the last thing is that there is going to be a skin contest going on. I don't know the specifics of it. When I went to go check to see if it was on the TFT website, it wasn't there yet. Maybe I just overlooked it. But there is going to be, I believe, a contest for a unisex male, female, there's going to be I believe, a skin contest for male universal skins, female universal skins, as well as a unisex universal skin. So again, very similar to the corn skin that we got. And then also there's going to be one for the fellows as well. So if you're interested in doing that, awesome, great. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with and see what we get in the game. Now, let's talk about my overall thoughts on the reveal. The stuff that they revealed, I really wish we would have seen some gameplay, but I understand why. They only had like an hour to actually talk about everything, and they probably wanted to also get some questions in. Now, during the Q&A segment, the questions that were asked were really, really bad. I think there was maybe like one question that was actually pretty decent, and that was one pertaining to the stats of melee weapons when they come out, if they were going to have the same stats. I believe was that one of the questions, or maybe I'm thinking of a separate video that I watched afterwards. Either way, most of the questions were really bad. There was also one where someone had talked about the Luna bikini skin and how her fingernails are painted on the skin, but her toenails aren't, which you get an opportunity to talk to the developers about the game and ask a question. I would probably ask something that doesn't pertain to that, but that's just me personally. Overall, I was pretty happy with the Season 3 reveal. Like I said in the video, I fucks with it. It was... I wish we would have seen more. I think I would have been a little bit more hype if we would have saw, maybe just a little bit of gameplay. Maybe we would have seen, a teaser trailer of everything except for the vehicle that we're going to be getting. But either way, I'm overall pretty satisfied with the reveal. I think there was a lot of great stuff. The fact that the new Descendant is going to be a character we already know, which I think is a good thing. Very similar to what happened when we got Luna, where Luna was in the story, but she wasn't a playable Descendant yet. So hopefully we can see more of that in the future. Trigger mods sound super interesting, and I'm super excited to get my hands on that and try that out. The Nier Automata collab, I'll be honest with you, I've never played Nier Automata. The game is actually on sale right now, so maybe I should buy it and play it. But yeah, I never played Nier Automata, but I am familiar with like Nier Automata collabs, especially being a Final Fantasy XIV player, where we had 3 alliance raids that were Nier themed, as well as we got some armor that was also Nier themed as well. So I am familiar with the franchise. I just, or at least this specific game, I just have never played it. But overall, like I said before, I'm pretty happy with everything that they revealed. But yeah, guys. So either way, let me know what you guys think about the reveal. Were you happy? Were you disappointed? You know, did you want to see some more gameplay? Like I said before, I would have liked to see a teaser trailer of kind of maybe just bits and bops of a little bit of everything. You know, just little snippets to you know get the balls tingling. You know what I mean? Either way, but that's all I have to say for this video, guys. This video has already gone long enough. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Like always, my name's Garen Belmont, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.